So this will be Rhonda and I's fourth session. We spent the first couple of sessions together discussing her and Bill's relationship, the troubles that they are going through, her feelings on their relationship, how she doesn't feel that he's there for her enough. They feel distant, and also we've discussed the constant arguing. We also spent some time talking about the kids and them misbehaving and her relationship with the kids. We're going to spend, I would like for this the focus of this session to be on Rhonda, on helping Rhonda find, in her current situation, help her find purpose. Again, she has, in our past sessions, she's spoken of wanting to, choosing to go back to school, that there is, that's kind of what drove her, was the seeking happiness, the seeking of purpose again. She felt that she had lost that. She also mentioned that when she first had her kids, when they were younger, that she was happy that she found, she stated that her reason for living was for her kids. So this session, I want to focus on helping her in her current situation find that meaning again, find a purpose that can help drive her in her current situation, the struggles, the frustrations that they are experiencing as a family. I would like to help her broaden her perspective so that she might be able to see where she can take these troubling times and use them to find meaning. Alright, Rhonda, so this is our fourth session. We spent the first couple of sessions talking about the kids, your relationship with them, and Bill. So I want to hear a little bit about you, about how you're feeling about the situation. Specifically your emotions, your feelings toward your current situation at home.
I guess with Bill being at work all the time, I just feel alone. The kids are in after-school activities most of the day, and that's part of the reason why I went back to school, like we talked about. But school's just not, I'm going, but I'm not happy. I feel lonely, and I feel like, I don't know if bored's the right word, or, I'm just having a tough time.
So you say you feel lonely and alone. Is that coming from your lack of time with your kids, or is that more with Bill?
I think it's probably both. He's working more, and I know we talked about how he likes to golf, and, he started picking up golf now, so it's like, the time that I did see him, now I really don't see him.
Right.
And the kids, I love my kids, they come home from their after-school activities, and, we have dinner, but it's not that they don't need me. Right. As much as they used to. It's not the same. They rather talk to their friends and be on Facebook and social media.
Yeah, so is there a time you can think of when you felt like that you and Bill had more time together, where there wasn't a time where you felt lonely from Bill, where y'all had more of a connection?
Yeah, those days still feel so long gone, it was probably when he was working, he was working hard because he was just starting his career, but, when our first baby was born, it's like we're on the same path. We're a team, we had the same goal in mind, we were excited, everything was new, even though I didn't see him as much, it was still okay because he was eager to get home. And things were great, and with second and third kids, it was kind of the same. There was some newness, and you're so busy with kids. I mean, as a mom, you know, that him working so much, it kind of worked out, but I still felt he was engaged. You know, now it feels like he'd rather golf than be at home.
So I heard you say that when y'all had this connection, when you had more time together, y'all still didn't spend a lot of time together.
Right.
So what do you think the lapse is between now and then? If you say you were happy,
Right.
but you still didn't seem to have as much time together.
I guess maybe. I mean, we haven't really talked about how, you know, I guess my priorities have changed. You know, we were eager to start a family, and we were both on the same page, and I think maybe he's just continued working, and, you know, obviously something in me's changed, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to.
So your priorities,
that.
what do you say that you've changed? What do you mean by your priorities have?
Well, I think, you know, when we first got married, it was, you know, keeping the house and, you know, and having the baby. You know, we had our first kid right away, so, you know, it was so busy, you know, and having two and then having three, there was so much to do, and, you know, we made sure we kept dinner time, and Bill wanted to be home to be with the kids, and me, you know, and I guess now that they're grown up and they don't need me as much, I guess. You know, things. I guess I feel like I've switched gears, but I don't really know what gear I'm in. I don't. You know, I'm in neutral.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out where to go, and I thought that was school, and you know, somehow it seems empty.
So, and you've mentioned your children a few times, and you've said that they don't need you. You sound like a very nurturing parent, that you focused a lot of time on your kids. So, was there a time where, like a transfer, where you focused your nurturing on Bill, and then when you had your kids, you kind of switched over to your children?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think as we were dating and, you know, during our engagement, you know, it was definitely more about us, you know, and I felt there was more attention from Bill also during that time when, you know, when it's just the two of you, there's nothing, you know, quite like that. But we did want a family, and we decided to have a family, you know, early. So he was very much a part of things, I think, with our first kid, and then it just kind of, I don't know what happened there.
So, when you had your first child and your second child, was there any upsetting feelings there? You know, because it sounds like that you focused all of your efforts on taking care of your kids. You know, when you felt like your kids needed you, when was that time? Because you've mentioned a couple of times that you say your kids don't need you anymore.
Right.
When was a time? Think back about how you felt when your kids needed you.
Right. I mean, it goes beyond, like, you know, the rides to school and making lunches and, you know, that sort of thing. It was just like, you know, your baby falls down and they call for mom, you know, and now as teenagers and they're a little, you know, they're more independent, and that's great because we encourage that. You know, I want them to be able to grow up and have everything, but they're not crying for mom anymore, you know, they're not, you know, they don't want me to kiss them outside the school when I drop them off, you know, the younger ones, so it's just, and it's natural, I get that, I get it, it's just, yeah, I feel sad, yeah, I miss them being babies.
Is this missing them, did this lead you to go back to school? And when I ask you that, was there ever a period of time when you were in school, when before you mentioned you were a medical researcher and
Yes.
when you met Bill?
Yes.
Was there, did school ever do that for you? Did work ever do what fulfill that missing piece that you're saying with your kids, that nurturing? Did work or school, and is going back to school now filling that? Is
I
it
think it
satisfying that meaning that you're looking
Yeah,
for?
I mean, I think it changed. I think it changed because I didn't know any different when I was in school, you know, and I got my degree. And I met Bill, and you know, things were about us, but things were, you know, school was a priority before I met him. And then having a family that, you know, like I said earlier, my priorities changed, and so my focus was from. I got my degree, and I had a little bit of a, you know, career for a bit just before I had kids. It wasn't too long, but you know, had kids, and my priorities became the kids, you know, and again, now that they're teenagers, it's like now I have more time. I don't know what to do with that time, and it doesn't feel, it's not the same, you know, now that I'm going to school. It's like school was almost a choice just to fill the time and fill the space and to be doing something. I do feel restless. I do feel like I want to be engaged and doing something. I don't know that it's the right choice, but for now at least I'm not, you know, sitting at home.
Right, so there's that feeling of needing to take care of something to be fulfilled,
Right.
to nurture, and Bill's off working
Right.
and doing his thing, and your kids are at school. Okay, so have you ever thought, has your family ever had any pets? Have y'all ever?
I mean, we thought about it, but Bill's allergic to everything. They're just, I don't know, with 3 kids initially I didn't think I could handle having a pet too, but the boys have been asking for a dog, you know, and I guess there are options there. I think there's short-haired dogs or something that don't have allergies. I mean, I guess so. It was kind of something that just, Bill always said no because he was allergic, and you know, I just didn't see how I could take care of a dog too. I guess it's an option.
Well, we wanna help you find fulfillment that you see from the conversations before and today, that you seem to have kind of gotten off track.
Right.
That your meaning, your purpose came from your kids, from taking care of your kids, and now that they're kind of grown up a little bit more, you're kind of off track. So what if, as far as their after-school activities, I know that you mentioned that they've done that they're in after-school activities. Are you able to be involved in that in any way? Are you involved in that in any way?
I guess, you know, they might be looking for, they're always looking for parents to volunteer to help out. I mean, that's a great idea. I can definitely look into that more.
So does that, is you volunteering, do you see yourself being happy in that role?
I'd be around the kids, yeah. I mean, I think so.
Okay.
I think that could, you know, as long as they're not too embarrassed by me.
Right, yeah.
As long as they're okay with having mom around. I mean, the little one definitely. I mean, that's more, I might be able to do something there.
Good, so we can start with that.
Okay.
We would like to maybe look into that and see, to be a part of their lives, outside of the home, because they're in school, to help you help them be a part of their lives outside of the school. But eventually, we would like to focus on you, and helping you find that meaning that
Right.
you get from from nurturing that you mentioned a couple of times, that because eventually the kids are going to grow up,
Right.
and we want to help you find that, and maybe that's what kind of guided you back to school.
Right.
So we can talk about that more, and I would also like to talk about Bill, and maybe I don't know how you feel about golf, but the idea is ideally is to be happy in our situations, is that we make our situations what they are, regardless of what the situation is. We can decide our outcome and how we feel about the outcome. So we can talk about that more in later sessions. But right now, let's see how this volunteer thing goes. Just see. Don't stretch yourself too thin. But see where that takes you and how you feel about volunteering there.